Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, 49ers faithful? Good morning, or should I say top of the morning to you guys. I'm curious if anybody in the crowd knows what the traditional Irish response to top of the morning is. Throw that in the chat. I'm curious if you have it. But I love the countdown. What's up, Wandy? Coming in first. I love it. Like the competition and all the hashtag CCs. That is incredible. Now, today's episode, I don't know. We got left with a bad taste in our mouth last night with that Texans game, which was just so bad. It was terrible. And that's okay. Like, you want to get that out of the way. We did a whole episode on that. What I want to do today is start the projection side, right? So the 49ers 53-man roster, every NFL team's 53-man roster is due Tuesday, August 30th. You got 4 days. And Shanahan even said last night, we got more practice. We're not ready. So they got to keep going, in their evaluation process. So there's still more news to come out. But I didn't want to wait. I've been working on this for a long time. And so I wanted to go through and, do all of my projections, offense, defense, special teams, and not only projections. We don't do the bare minimum around here. I want to do who's going to make the practice squad. With the new practice squad rules, you get 16. You get 6 vets. So on there, so 10, first, second year accrued players, all that stuff. I'm going on now. Obviously, some of our players are going to get claimed. There's no doubt about that. 49ers already had 3 players claimed on the first and second round of cuts. So we're definitely going to get some more done. I think there will be a trade or two that will go down. Very difficult to predict that. But that is that's what we're dealing with here. So this is going to be a long episode. And if for some reason you disagree or you want to argue some of these points, man, I love it. Disagreements are a great thing in society. I hate how we teach people if you disagree, you got to hate each other. No way. I hate you for other reasons, not because we disagree on football. It's kind of joking there. But if you want to join us and hash this out, we do have our Zoom Hangout meeting this Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's our Jerry Rice and Bill Walsh tiers on Patreon. And so if you want to join us, that is Sunday, 4:30 p.m. I cannot recommend that show enough because it's freaking awesome, man. We get a whole bunch of people together and we just hash it out. And if you want to join us, patreon.com/49ers Rush Podcast, or just Google 49ers Patreon. We're the first one that pull up. Sign up, check it out. And if you don't like it, money back guaranteed. We believe in our product. No questions asked. I'm not going to hound you. Just say, yeah, John, not for me. I got you. I'll make sure you get completely refunded, and I will thank you for your support and for checking it out. That's what we got over there on Patreon. Now, let's jump in. Now, we have to bracket this conversation with a little bit of context, okay? So we're at 80 players on the 49ers roster. You got to cut to 53. So you got to cut 27. You get 16 back. That's the idea. Now, PUP and all those things, they've kind of already started. Some more players could go on there. Shanahan does not mind doing some sneaky stuff, saying, oh, I think you got an ankle injury. You're going to be going on IR and things like that. So we'll have to see what happens there. Now, Jimmy G conversations, we're going to start with quarterbacks. I constantly want to continue to put this out, because I think it's important that everybody understands the nuance. His salary is not guaranteed August 30th. So let's just say hypothetically, and I think there's a decent chance. I don't have Jimmy making it past August 30th, but it's almost a coin flip. I could definitely see Kyle Shanahan keeping him. And if he does, his salary is not guaranteed. Okay, not until September 10th. So if Shanahan's big scheme is, I definitely don't want the Seattle Seahawks getting him with much time, he would hold him till September 10th, then cut him before 1 p.m. And then you wouldn't have to worry about anything. It's the same thing. So basically, you would limit 2 weeks practice time of Jimmy Garoppolo with the Seahawks or with somebody else, hoping for a trade or whatever. That's kind of the idea. Don't know if they'll do it because that does cost you a roster spot. And we've got so many prominent undrafted free agent rookies that I think, we want to make sure you got to keep those guys. Who's going to be the next Emmanuel Mosley? Who's going to be the next Aziz? Who's going to be the next Daniel Brunskill? Who's going to be the next Juwan Jennings? Some of those guys. Jennings was drafted, but he was cut and brought back, was kind of the thing that I was trying to allude to. Now, so here we go. Yeah, I love it, Melissa. Appreciate it. Clayton's not with us this morning, so I'm running both the board and the notes in the show. So please be patient with me and tag me if you got something that you want to jump in and talk about. I'll do my best to get to all of the questions. Steven says, rewatch the film on offensive line. It was worse than I thought, but Jake Brendel wasn't as bad as I thought he was. Yeah, he gave up 0 pressures. Lots of issues he faced. Not him. Missed assignments from Banks. Yes, I did see that as well. Once that film comes out, we're going to go through it completely and entirely. We've got 17 days, so we're going to be spending a lot of time there. And so, yeah, we're gonna dissect that on Patreon. Every offensive snap, every defensive snap, every special team snap, preseason, regular season, postseason. We got it all. Coach's tape. You get it all. Coach Cruz, what's up, Anthony? He says, there's definitely something going on, some shenanigans. Ooh, I like that. Shenanigans. Am I saying that right? Going on? Yeah, Shanahan's different. He's different. So here we go. Let's jump in. Okay, now we've already lost 3 players that have been claimed. Keyshawn Johnson, the Falcons, Josh Hawker, Cardinals. He was released. Possible practice squad candidate, and Tanner Hudson, tight end by the Giants. Now, how we're going to bracket each position group. This is going to be a long episode, and I'm pumped about it. I got my coffee going. I'm ready because we spend so much time with these players. We did the 90-man roster breakdown. I love these guys, all of them, even the ones I don't like. I still love them. We're going to bracket it with what they kept last year and what they're going to keep this year. So last year, the 49ers kept 2 quarterbacks on their initial 53-man roster. Now, things changed throughout the season. You can't really go with that. But last year, they kept 2. This year, I have them keeping 2. Just 2. Trey Lance, he's an absolute lock. Nate Sudfeld, I have them keeping. I got to letting go of Jimmy Garoppolo on August 30th, but I've changed it like 3 times. I keep going back because, and again, shout out to John H. on Patreon. He talked about this. And I mentioned this briefly last night, that you have these veteran players. If they played in the league for over 4 years, they don't go through waivers where teams pick them. They go to free agency where they pick the team. Don't put it past Shanahan to tell one of these 4-year vets, hey, I'm going to cut you, and I'm going to bring you back September 10th with a little bit of a pay increase. So I'm going to give you a little bit extra cash, but you don't sign with anybody else because we're going to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, and you're going to free up that roster spot, but we're going to make it worth your while. You be loyal to me, I'll be loyal to you. And Shanahan's probably one of the most loyal people to a fault. The Shanahan Loyalty Project we've referenced many times. And so we'll see. Anyway, so Trey Lance, Nate Sudfeld, that's who I have the 49ers keeping. I have them releasing Brock Purdy. I have them releasing Jimmy Garoppolo, but I have them bringing Brock Purdy back to the practice squad. And no, I do not think another team is going to claim Brock Purdy. I just do not see that. A lot of teams are going to be cutting quarterbacks. Brock Purdy just has too many physical limitations to be desired by a lot of other teams. Did he show some promise? Yes. But did he also continue to show a weak arm? Yes. So half the teams are out on him already just based on arm strength. I'm not sure he showed enough. He did make it a little bit of a competition with Sudfeld, but they love Sudfeld. And yes, I saw this right here. Josh, is Sudfeld's $2 million all guaranteed? It is, as far as I know. Yes, it is guaranteed. Now, for you contract people, I'm excited about this. I'm going to have Jason Hurley on the show right after roster cut down. Really excited about that show. He runs, what's it called? The 49ers Cap entire site. Incredible job. So if you want to know more about 49ers, he's my go-to. I got him on speed dial, and I message whenever I got stuff because he knows the ins and outs of the caps and the contracts and the penalties and the bonuses and all that stuff. So we're going to have that completely cleared up. with him. Jay Hurley, he's great. So anyways, just stay tuned for that. That's going to be right after August 30th, right after cut day, so that we can go through the ramifications of all that. So I will defer to him. That is not my specialty whatsoever. Let's see here. JD, he says, John, do you think Mitch W is living up to being worth the 4th round pick? I do not. Not even close. Not even close. Do you think he will sustain his performance or will he regress? I hope he does. He's in a contract year. He has been incredible in the preseason. Still not 4th round pick worthy. Absolutely not for a punter ever. The only 4th round pick punter in the league is Michael Dixon, who has been the punter of the year, might be the best Seahawks player of all time. He is an all-pro punter that changes the game. That's it. Outside of that, no. And if he gets to that level, that'd be incredible, but he's not going to. Even as great as he has been in the preseason, still not what Michael Dixon's doing on a bad day. But I am happy, very, very happy with Mitch Wisnowski. Still not worth a 4th round pick, not even freaking close. Spencer Burford's a 4th round pick, right? That's a 4th round pick. Anyway. All right. So quarterbacks, keep it to letting go Jimmy G, Brock Purdy, but I want to bring Purdy back to the practice squad, and I do think that he will clear waivers. I do. Running back. I don't like this conversation already. Running back is difficult because usually in the past, everybody's gotten hurt. Not right now. Shanahan was asked last night, how do you choose which running backs to keep and to cut?
It's tough. I mean, I feel like it's been tough every year here. I think we've always had some good practice squad guys. I mean, some good undrafted free agents. We've always, I feel like, brought in some pretty good vets for competition. And every year it's always tough to decide on those backs because, we've also gone through 4 every single year since our first year. So it's always an important decision. It's not just about the backs either. It's how they line up with all the other positions. And that's what we'll decide here over the next few days.
It's not easy. I kept saying it's going to solve itself. It's going to solve itself. It's going to solve itself. It hasn't solved itself. Everybody's healthy except for Elijah Mitchell. And Elijah Mitchell is expected to be back this week. That's the hope. But whenever you have so many backs that are healthy, you don't have to rush him back for week 1. You don't have to. So if Elijah Mitchell doesn't go week 1, that's okay because you got all these other cats. Now, who do you keep? Last year, they kept 5. This year, I have them keeping 5. I could see it 4. I really could. If Elijah Mitchell is completely healthy and he can prove in 4 days he's good to go, then 4 would be a small possibility. But this is tough. Okay, locks. Kyle Juszczyk's a lock. Elijah Mitchell's lock. TDP's a lock. That's it. I got 3 locks. That leaves space for 2 more because you're giving 4 running backs, 1 fullback. I hate this. I freaking hate this. And I hate myself. I'm mad right now. And I was mad when I typed it. And I was mad when I read it. And I'm mad now. Now, the one player that I have making it above all costs, and I could be wrong here. He made it last year, though. And that's JaMycal Hasty. Listen to Shanahan talk about Hasty.
Hasty's been solid. I mean, he's been solid since he's been here. That's why he's made some big plays in games. So whether it's in the pass game, run game, he's always tough on special teams and protection, and he's done a good job. And guys who are like that, who now I think this is his 3rd year with us, and he does keep getting better, and that'll continue to happen with him.
I think Hasty's making this roster just because he does things other people don't do. And if you've watched our special teams breakdowns, he is an absolute beast. He's a beast. He absolutely has crushed it in the special teams unit. So that's 4. That means we got 3 people left. Jordan Mason, Trey Sermon, Jeff Wilson. 1 gets in. 1 goes home. 1 maybe to the practice squad, but I doubt it. And yeah, look at this. I love this, Melissa. And again, understand this. My entire philosophy of this roster breakdown is not what I would do. So I'm saying I'm jumping into the mind of Shanahan, trying to predict what he's going to do. If it's my decision, oh yeah, Mason's a lock, baby. I love that dude so damn much. He's so freaking good. So freaking good. Now, all right. The one player that's cut and out for me, I told everybody last night, I'm cutting Trey Sermon. I don't even want him back on the practice squad if I can get him. I don't think he's a fit. I don't think he has what it takes to be on the 49ers. He needs to go to a completely different scheme. He needs a new start. Trey Sermon, I am done. Does that mean he's going to make this roster? He's still got a chance, but not for me. I have not seen it. He has been the worst running back every single game. Even last night, he had 20 yards rushing. Awesome. Congratulations. Trey Sermon's out. I'm cutting him. I don't even want him on the practice squad. So now it's between Jeff Wilson and Jordan Mason. I'm mad. And yeah, I'm kind of with you right here, Josh. Jeff Wilson is a lock, is what Josh says. 49ers faithful forever. And I think you're right. On this roster, they just love him too much. They love him too much. He just does a little bit of everything. He's a locker room guy. He's the vet in the room. I got Jeff Wilson making the roster, and I got Jordan Mason being cut, which breaks my freaking heart. And it hurts, and I don't like it. And again, if I was making the decision, JaMycal Hasty, Jordan Mason have been the best 2 running backs all of preseason, every freaking game. I'm keeping those two. But I don't think that's what the 49ers are going to do. I think they're going to take their chances. I really, really do. You got to keep TDP because he was a third. You got to keep Elijah Mitchell, obviously, and Kyle Juszczyk. So the 5 I got him keeping: Mitchell, Juice, TDP, Hasty, Jeff Wilson. And you pray to the football gods that Jordan Mason isn't claimed. But I think you're going to be wrong. And I think this is going to be a mistake. And I'm going to not sleep very well for the near future while Jordan Mason is out there. It breaks my heart. Now, and I'll say this, Melissa says, if Jeff Wilson Jr. and Hasty both make it, the faithful are going to flip. They're the most versatile of the backs by far. You want pass protection? Both of them are better than everybody else. You want routes and hands? Both of them are better than everybody else. There's no doubt about it. Hasty fulfills a role in the third down back, which Shanahan loves, and he has continued to look good. In special teams, he's great. Not as a returner. I don't want him as a returner. But you go watch. He was the up back on the punt team, and he was incredible. Little man just getting in there being all feisty. I don't like it. But sometimes you got to eat your I actually like vegetables. I like vegetables way more than I like cutting Jordan Mason. John says Mason looks like a downhill truck. Yeah, I love it, man. And yeah, Mason going to go to the Seahawks if cut. I don't like it, guys. Like, understand this. It hurts. I'm hurting on the inside. This is what I expect the Niners to do, not what I want them to do. I hope you understand the difference there. So the 5 I got: Mitchell, Juice, TDP, Jeff Wilson, JaMycal Hasty. Sermon's just gone, and he is a huge trade candidate. There's 2 types of trade, and I stole this from Daniel Jeremiah, Move the Sticks. There's 2 types of trades that happen during this time. You trade depth for future value, or you trade your trash for somebody else's trash, hoping a new situation can bring it out. Not that I'm saying Trey Sermon's trash. I don't believe that. I think he's a great dude, and I think that he is a place in the NFL. It's just not with the 49ers. So allow him to go to a place where he could be beneficial and maybe get back an interior offensive lineman, an extra tackle, another safety, something along those lines. That would be ideal. But again, who's seen tape on Trey Sermon and says, ooh, I really need that on my roster? Nobody has. You're going to let the Niners cut somebody, and whoever gets cut, whether it's Hasty, whether it's Jeff Wilson, whether it's Sermon, they're getting claimed. The 49ers, the entire NFL loves Shanahan running backs. Not even just kid Shanahan, Daddy Shanahan too, which it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Mike Shanahan. 70 years old. Look at that dude. Anyway, that's the running backs. I want to move on because I'm a little angry and sad on the inside. Dan, thank you so much for your generosity, my friend. He says, John, there's no way Trent Williams allows a performance like that in the regular season as the captain of that line. They'd have to answer to him at halftime. I think you're right, man. And if you look at the pressures that were taking place, almost all of them were the left side. You look at Jalen Moore and Justin School, that's 5 pressures right there allowed. And they were split in time. Right tackle, not much better. Colton McKivitz, couple pressures let in. McKivitz looked better than School, and Jalen Moore looked awful. And we'll get to that position group. But I had Jalen Moore in before that game. I moved him out. That's how bad he was. Because if he's just going to be a guard, I'd prefer Poe. I'd prefer Zakil. I'd prefer freaking everybody, which we haven't seen him at guard. And I think that's his best position. But nobody's taking Jalen Moore. So, yeah, I'm with you. Trent Williams, getting him back helps. McGlinchey back helps. You get those bookends It's going to help. It's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference. So anyway, let's go down. I know people are upset at me now. I'm so sorry I made y'all mad. All right, let's go to wide receivers. Last year, 49ers kept 6. This year, 5. This is a spot that I think they can skim on to get back a spot for that D line or O line that you need help with, or safety now with the injury to Jimmy Ward. You got to find space, and that's kind of the issue, right? You got to be able to create space, and it's not really there. So locks, I think there's 5 locks: Debo, Ayuk, Ray McLeod, Juwan Jennings, Danny Gray. No particular order. Those guys are all making the roster. Don't give a damn about anything else. After that, I think it comes down to really 3 players: Willie Snead, Malik Turner, and Marcus Johnson. Now, listen to Shanahan talk about Malik Turner, who has just been so freaking consistent.
And that's what Malik's been for other teams in his career so far. And, we had, like Coach Schneider had some experience with him. We've had some guys know him from other teams, have gone against him. And we've always known he's a good football player. And he's been exactly what we hoped for since he's gotten here. He's done a hell of a job in special teams. He's done a great job at wideout when he's gone in.
Special teams is what he mentioned first, right? I think Malik Turner is the leader in this room out of those 3. I don't have Tay Martin making it, and I don't even think Tay Martin's going to be brought back to the practice squad. I like the youth there, but it's such a young wide receiver room anyway. I think they need veteran presence. And so out of Marcus Johnson, Malik Turner, and Willie Snead, this is a little bit of a difference here. I got them all being cut, every single one of them. And yeah, if I had to squeeze one in, it would be Malik Turner. But the question turns to this: would you rather keep Malik Turner, or would you rather keep a D lineman? Because that's a conversation you got to have. Would you rather keep Malik Willis and let Jordan Willis, or Malik Turner and let Jordan Willis go? I don't think so. And here's why. Let's say hypothetically you let Malik Turner go, who's a stud special teamer, and he gets claimed, which is a very strong possibility. Well, guess what? You got Marcus Johnson, who's a stud special teamer and can play the exact same wide receiver spot. And let's say he gets claimed too. He's a speedster. Well, guess what? You got Willie Snead, who is a stud special teamer, maybe not like the other 2, that can still play those same wide receiver spots. So in a lot of these decisions, it's not as simple as checkers, right? Well, what if he gets claimed? It's what's around him, what's behind him, what's our backup plan if that happens. They want to keep Malik Turner, and that's going to be an argument in the coaching room. No doubt about it. And we're going to have arguments for our Jerry Rice Tier Hangout Sunday on Malik Turner. I guarantee it. And there's not a wrong argument. It's a gamble. It's just, what do you value most, right? So practice squad players, I got Malik Turner, Willie Snead coming back. And if Malik Turner's gone, I got Marcus Johnson, Willie Snead coming back. And if Malik and Snead are gone, then I got Tay Martin and Marcus Johnson coming back. They need depth at that wide receiver position on the practice squad because of special teams ability. And just, again, you got a lot of youth. I mean, Debo, right? He's going into his 4th year. Ayuk, 3rd year. Ray's the vet of the group. Jennings, 3rd year. Danny Gray, 1st year. Like, nobody's past 4 years. Nobody. Ray might be. I think he's on his 5th or 6th year. But still, it's just young. It's just young. Yeah, Tay Martin's been out there, Alec. Hasn't really made much of an impact. And yeah, right here, Dante, I'd rather keep Mason. You'd rather keep Mason than a defensive lineman. I'm cool with that. Maybe not. I love Mason as much as anybody, but the Shanahan scheme, D-line is the value. D-line is the value. Melissa, Jordan Willis all day, every day. I'm with you right there. So that's our wide receivers. Let's go tight ends. A little bit easier conversation, especially I got last year they kept 3. This year I got them keeping 3. 2 locks, Kittle and Warner. They're locks no matter what. Then you've got Croft, Dwelly, Fumagalli fighting for that last spot. Dwelly has been lights out. Player of the game yesterday for me on the offensive side. I got Dwelly making it. He's a bubble in player. Troy Fumagalli cut. I don't even have him bringing him back. Tyler Croft on the practice squad. If he doesn't get claimed, I think he gets claimed. I really do. Too much good tape on him in the past. And if that's the case, Fumagalli gets bumped up to the practice squad. He's been doing some fullback. He's been doing, some tight end stuff. And if he's gone, then I think you bring Josh Hockett back. So this is the pathway for Hockett to get in, is if Croft gets claimed and Fumagalli gets claimed, which is a legit return. So there we go. Let's see here. Melissa clarifying something. She says, Juwan Jennings, 2 years. He was practice squad in an injured first year. Yeah, so he's 3 years. This is his 3rd year out of college, but you are correct. This is his 2nd year from the NFL transaction wire as far as accrued seasons because he only got 1. That is correct. Duct tape Dwelly is back, baby. Yeah, let me just say this, Steven. I doubted him. And I apologize to the duct tape family because it seemed like they completely phased him out of the game. They didn't seem like they completely phased Dwelly out of the game plan down the stretch last year, the last 6 or 7 games. Lost everything, all snaps, almost completely. But he's come back with a vengeance and proved he belongs. And so, again, one of my favorite things about being on this show is being wrong. I love that man. I love Roz Dwelly. Everything about him, his makeup, everything. He's great. And I'm very, very happy. And I'm very, very excited to see what he can bring as a backup fullback, as a backup tight end, as a special teamer. He just does everything. That's why I call him duct tape, right? He just covers up all the messes. That was the whole idea way back whenever Kittle got hurt, he filled in. Then Juszczyk got hurt, he filled in. He just does what's needed. And I freaking love that. So I'm glad that I am wrong. I am very, very glad that I am wrong on Dwelly. Dwelly has seemed to have good hands since we've had him. Yeah, he has. He really, really has. All right, let's get to the nitty gritty. Oh, hopefully Wayne won't trademark me on that. Sorry. Shout out Wayne Breezy. Go follow Wayne Breezy. Not trying to steal his show. He's just the best. It's burned into my brain. Anyway. Now, if you are not getting notifications, this is something you have to do on it's up to your Google settings. Google bought YouTube and changed it. So sometimes they don't show up. You have to change your Google settings on notifications to get that. So if you didn't get it, that's what that is. Sorry about that. I apologize. Yeah, so that's there. I know it's frustrating. I've been working with YouTube and all the stupid StreamYard who I go through and all that stuff. It's so frustrating. But yeah, basically the only answer that they'll give us is you got to go through your own personal settings on notifications on Google to make sure that all is turned on, because if you just click that bell, then it defaults on a lot of your accounts to not whenever I go live. So anyway, that's what that is. Real quick, Josh says, John, off topic, Drake Jackson's hit on Mills was legal. Yeah, I need to go back. I want to watch the film. It looked legal. But again, I was in the stands watching on my phone as my son was playing football. So I'm probably not the clearest person on that. So I apologize for that. Anyway, all right, let's get to the offensive line. Last year, the 49ers kept 8. I got them keeping 9 this year. There's just way too much inexperience that you got to have better backups. It's not a clear cut who the starters are, who the backups are, especially with McGlinchey's injury. Okay, so let's deal with this. Locks. These are people that are making no matter what. Trent Williams, best in the league. Banks, he's starting left guard. Brendel, he's starting center. Burford, right guard. McGlinchey, if he's healthy, right tackle, and should be. The next 2 locks, Daniel Brunskill's making this no matter what, and so is Colton McKivitz, who we saw play right guard. I think he's got to be that swing tackle, but he shouldn't be. He should never play on the left side. He needs to stay on the right side. Now, that leaves a lot of players, okay? So that's 7. We're keeping 2 more. Here's the list of players. If we just look at the outside tackle players, you got to keep at least 1 more. You got Mills, you got School, you got Jalen Moore, and Keaton Sutherland, who kind of does a little bit of everything, but more inside guy. School, Mills, Jalen Moore. I had Jalen Moore making it over School until last night. I'm swapping them. School looks good on the left side, and McKivitz looks good on the right side. Keep it. School should be the backup. School should be the backup on the left side. McKivitz should be back up on the right side. Just keep that. Allow them to play those positions. Now we got guard. Oh, boy. Nick Zakelj, Jason Poe, Keaton Sutherland, Donovan West. Zakel's the highest draft pick, but I'm keeping my boy Poe. He's just looked too damn good. And I never would have thought, ever would have thought that Poe could have made this roster. But again, I love being wrong. And when players shine, they shine. Nick Sikell had his best game last night. Came out, gave up 0 pressures. Poe gave up a couple. But I've got Jason Poe. Just the upside's just too unique, too different. You got to take a chance on that. And somebody could snap that up. There's too many Shanahan run games that's in the NFL right now and disciples that there's too much good tape out on Poe. So I think he gets claimed on a developing team. So you keep him. So Trent, Banks, Brendel, Burford, McGlinchey, McGivitz, Brunskill, Jason Poe, and Justin School. That's my 9. The guys that I'm cutting and not bringing back, Keaton Sutherland, Sam Mills, they're just gone. And then practice squad, Nick Sikell, if he gets through, he will not. He will be claimed. Jalen Moore and Donovan West. That's who I want on my practice squad because you got an outside guy in Jalen Moore, inside guy Nick Sikell, center, and Donovan West. Donovan West is my biggest practice squad. I care most about him to develop him at that center position, which he looked really good. Last night was his best preseason game. So in 3 games, he's improved. So that gives us 24 offensive players. 24. You keep 53. And so that means we got to keep 26 on defense and 3 special teamers to get to our 53-man number. Yeah. I pissed everybody off with the Mason. And again, remember, I want to keep Mason. I just don't think the 49ers will. I can't leave Mason and Poe off, right? That's just not allowed. Now, if you do keep Jimmy, that's where Poe goes. You got to cut Poe and keep Jimmy for that week. Is that worth it? I don't know about that. What is this? Bomber T? The front office really overreached these What? You are insane, my friend. I'm very glad you are here. This is one of the best draft classes in the NFL this year. You look at last year, good gosh, look at all the contributors. Now, we don't know how Trey Lance and Banks are going to do, but nah, you're wrong there, my friend. You are way wrong there, my friend. And yeah, School has to go. So plugged in TV, if you say School's got to go, who you keeping? Keeping Jalen Moore? No. Keeping Mills? Can't run block. He might be the better pass protector, and I'm okay with that. If you want to keep Mills over School, yeah, I'm okay with that. But again, who are you going to keep? So anyway, we'll see there. Now let's go to defense. Let's switch it over to the other side of the ball. And yeah, man, that's the thing, man. Coach Cruz, just wait and see how many of our guys get picked up after cuts. We already have 3. We're already leading the NFL in players claimed by other teams already through the first 2 rounds of cuts. That ain't going to change. A lot of these guys that I'm saying are practice squad players, no, they're going to be on another active roster. The 49ers have just made too much depth. They have crushed it the last few years. It's not even close. Oh, man. It's not even close. All right. Defensive line. Last year they kept 11, which was a shock. Usually they keep 10. I got them keeping 11 again. And most of them are locks. Here we go. Bosa, Kinlaw, Armstead, Sampson looked great last night. Drake, Omenihu, Kevin Givens, Hassan Ridgeway, Kamiko Toure, best player in the preseason. Offense, defense, whatever. Kamiko Toure, Samuel Womack, those 2 players, best players, nonstop, consistently great, week in, week out, 3 weeks in a row. Those are my locks. That's 9. That's a lot of locks, baby. Now, the bubble in players or the out players of the practice squad. Here's who all we got left. Kerry Hyder, Akeem Spence, Kevin Atkins, Alex Barrett, and Jordan Willis. I think the 2 guys, and again, I put them on bubble in, but and here's why. Okay, here's why I do this. Kerry Hyder and Jordan Willis, both of these. These are the shenanigan guys. And here's what I mean by that. Again, John brought it up. Coach Cruz, I think, solidified it for me. Kerry Hyder wants to be here. So much so, he took basically a veteran minimum deal to be with Chris Kusarik. Let's say you only keep 10 D linemen, and you tell Kerry Hyder, look, man, you don't want to go anywhere else. You want to be here. We want you here. We're going to cut you. Don't sign with anybody else because, again, he doesn't go to waivers because of his vet experience. He's a free agent. Just wait. Wait till September 10th. We're going to bring you back, and we're going to pay you a little extra gravy. Okay, we're going to give you an extra $100,000 on top of whatever you're making. Everything's going to be good. Just don't sign with anybody else. So I have Kerry Hyder and Jordan Willis. They're my bubble in players. But I wouldn't be shocked if one of them is cut and brought back after Jimmy Garoppolo, if he is kept. I don't think they will, but again, I got a little asterisk in my notes there because I just think, I just think it's there. I'm with you. Willis is so underrated in my opinion. If you talk to coaches that watch film, they love Jordan Willis. And Shanahan traded for him. Remember that. He traded for him. So Givens is interesting because he's the only really 3-technique penetrator we have, but he's not the run plugger that we have in Hassan Ridgeway. Stout, right? Kinlaw, stout. Armstead, stout. But that Maurice Hurst, Kevin Givens build, that 3-gap penetrator, that's what he is. None of those other guys are that. None of them are that. So he just gives you a little extra flavor. He's a matchup guy. So if you're playing against a big, stout O-line and you want somebody to slash, that's what he's going to be for. So some games you're going to have Givens getting, 30 snaps. Some games only 10. But he does give you a little extra flavor. And so it's just different. The other 3 guys kind of all fit in that. What the heck? Bob or T, what is wrong with you, man? We love you, bro. Quit drinking that Kool-Aid. I don't know what shows you listening to. You got to fix that, man. Lynch is going to get fired. Oh, my gosh. Trey is a multi-year project. This is a win-now team. Nah, bro. Come on, man. John Lynch was executive of the year, GM of the year. Come on, man. A little negativity happens sometimes, and that's okay. You're better than that, bro. You better than that. We love you. Be nice to Bomber. I think he just needs a virtual hug, man. We got you, bro. It's all right. We gonna be all right. I know Kali. I didn't cut him. Kali says, John, we got to talk. You cut Mason. I didn't cut Mason. I think the 49ers are going to cut Mason. I'm keeping Mason. I think him and Hasty have been the best 2 backs the whole time. But I just cannot see the 49ers moving off Jeff Wilson Jr. Shanahan loves that dude. But I would prefer to cut Jeff Wilson over Mason. Personally, I just don't think the Niners will. But yeah, I hate it. All right. So here we go. So I have Akeem Spence just being cut outright, and Kevin Atkins and Alex Barrett being brought back to the practice squad. Alex Barrett can kind of play end tackle. Kevin Atkins, he's an inside guy, but young, upside. So that's my 11 D linemen I'm keeping. Bosa, Kinlaw, Armstead, Sampson, Drake, Omenihu, Kevin Givens, Ridgeway, Kamiko Toure, Kerry Hyder, Jordan Willis. The strength of the team, by the way. A lot of teams will only keep 9 D linemen. We're keeping 11, and I love it. Linebackers. All right. Last year, they kept 5. This year, I got them keeping 5. You got 4 locks. Fred Warner, best linebacker in the game. Greenlaw, Azeez Al-Shire, and Oren Burks, who was great during the preseason. He's a special team stud. So now, this turned out to be a difficult decision. You got DFF, Sagan Olubi, who's been great. Marcelino McCrary-Ball, you could say he's played better than everybody. Curtis Robinson, now he got injured last night. Lower leg injury. I think it was his ankle. That could change what happens with him because I don't have Curtis Robinson making this roster, even though he's been great. He was a training camp stud. But if he is injured, that is a player they could put on IR and say, look, man, you got a month-long injury with your ankle. We're going to put you on IR, and we're going to keep you for next year, and we're going to pay you a little extra. All right? We'll waive you with an injury settlement. We'll bring you back. We're going to take care of you financially, and this will let you keep you in our system for the long term. Remember, Greenlaw and Azeez last year their deals. So I think that's one of the things that you're allowed to kind of finesse a little bit. So that's something to keep an eye out. Marcelino McCrary-Ball. I think it comes down to 2 players, DFF and McCrary-Ball. This is a possible trade. Both these players could be traded. Remember, the 49ers' largest signing bonus to undrafted free agents went to Ball. They love this kid, and he looks incredible. I thought he was the best linebacker in the game yesterday. I got him keeping DFF, and I got bringing back Curtis Robinson and McCrary Ball and leaving Sega and Olabi out there, but he's been really, really good as well. That's why I think they're really, really happy with all 4 of these players, and I could see them trade. This is a trade scenario. We saw it last year with the Sycamore player, Jonas Griffith, being traded. So I could see something like that again. We're just 2 stacked. Deepest linebacking core in the NFL, and it's not close. 3 deep's awesome, but you got 7 to 8 guys you like, and you want to keep an extra dude because, again, you got 2 guys leaving next year, potentially. I don't know if you pay top dollar for 3 linebackers. I don't think anybody else in the NFL is doing that, and I don't think it's very smart to do that. So kind of take that for what you want, but that's kind of how I see it. Oh, what's up, Sid? She says, pass it through Dallas. I love it, man. Get some barbecue for me. I miss it. I miss it. I miss it. August 30th is cut day. That is correct. But a lot of these transactions will start to take place this weekend. And so we'll have to see what's going on right there. All right. So that's our 5 linebackers: Warner, Greenlaw, Aziz, Burks, and DFF. Practice squad, Ball, and Robinson. But again, this one I got highlighted as a huge trade potential position. All right, corners. Oh, gosh. All right. Last year they kept 6. This year I got to keep it 6. Last year they kept 6. This year I got to keep it 6. Locks: Charvarius Ward, Manuel Mosley, Samuel Womack, Diamador Lenore continue to show out, man. And I love that they played him inside and out. I love that they played Samuel Womack inside and out. I loved everything about that. I thought that they just crushed that, man. And, Womack, you could argue, is the best player on the team this preseason. Here's the head coach talking about how Womack played versus the Texans.
Yeah, he's done a good job at nickel. I thought it was good today that we got him some more reps on the outside, just having him and Demo do both. So we'll get some good film here on the way back to show him there. But I thought that was a good play. He didn't quit on the slot go, I think it was. Kept battling to get there and ended up tipping it and causing a pick for Timor. So that was a hell of a play.
All he does is just turnovers. Not even just turnovers for himself, but turnovers for other people as well. I think that's just incredible. Everything he's done, you have to be happy. And Jeff Denny of Pro Football Focus tweeted this out. This is Samuel Womack's preseason. He had a 91.1 coverage grade. He was targeted 5 times, allowed 0 catches, 2 interceptions, 1 pass broke up, led to another interception, did have that 1 penalty, but a 0.0 passer rating allowed. It's perfect football. From a rookie. Now, I play that clip and I talk about this. Yeah, he's just so freaking disruptive. But yeah, man, he's a lock. He's a lock as a rookie, late round rookie. It's incredible. Now, those are my 4 locks: Ward, Mosley, Womack, Diamador Lenore, which I had Demo on the bubble before training camp. He's shined. He's looked great. He looked great in training camp last year too, though. Now, that leaves a lot of guys. Tariq Castro Field, I saw somebody bring him up. Right here, plugged in. He said, Castro looked good last night. He just needs reps, I think. Man, my problem with Castro is the mistakes he makes. His technique doesn't change. He will not put his head in front on tackling ever, which leads to a lot of missed tackles, which he had last night. He gives way too much cushion and doesn't look like he plays with a lot of confidence. He's a little grabby at the top. There's just a lot of things. You're right. I think that it's there. He just needs time. And I don't think he's there. I don't have him making it. I do have him as a practice squad candidate. Now, other players: Dante Johnson, Ambry Thomas, Ken Crowley, Kader Holman, Quantrez Knight. I got 2 players just being cut, and I don't really want them on the practice squad. I'd be fine with them, but that's not the plan. Ken Crowley and Kader Holman, I've got them being gone. So now we're down to 3 players: Ambry Thomas, Quantrez Knight, and Dante Johnson. It's tough. How do you decide between these 3? Dante Johnson has been, just the barnacle, right? That's what they call him. He didn't make this roster last year. And so if you look at, I think, Ambry Thomas, who struggled big time, but you've seen him. You don't make the playoffs without him last year. So you've seen the upside as outside corner. I don't think Dante Johnson's an outside corner. And if you want to put him in the safety conversation, I'm cool with that as well. And then you get Quantrez Knight. As much as I love Jordan Mason, I like Quantrez Knight more. I think he's that damn good. Listen to the defensive coordinator, D'Amico, talk about Q Knight.
No, Q Knight, he's done a great job, and it was fun to see for him these past 2 days versus these guys. We had to move him around a lot because of injuries in our back end. So he's done a great job of just being a smart player who can move around, play multiple positions, and being a guy you can count on. And it was fun to see him make a few plays for us, and he definitely brings some energy to our defense. He's always going to make at least 1 or 2 plays a day that sparks the energy for the defense. So it's fun to see Q Knight making plays.
Yep, I got Quantrez Knight staying. I do. I just think he's that damn good. And he can play slot. He can play outside. This is where he started camp outside. Then he moved into slot and was great. He's even got some safety snaps. He can just do it all. And look at Melissa. She read my notes. She says, Dante Johnson is injured. I can see him miss it and then come back later. That's exactly right. Again, this is a player that, this is 10th year, Dante Johnson. And I think he didn't make it last year. And so I don't have him making it this year. I've got Dante Johnson going to the practice squad. He gets to choose. I think he wants to stay. I think he's going to get a spot on this coaching staff long-term. It allows the 49ers to keep some younger talent. So I got the bubble in guys, Ambry Thomas and Quantrez Knight. Ambry Thomas, Quantrez Knight, that's who I got making it. Ken Crowley, Kader Holman out. Dante Johnson, Tariq Castro Fields, practice squad. And Castro Fields might get claimed. He really might. But that's okay. That's okay. And so, yeah, you can get him later. Decal, yeah, he says it. Johnson is versatile, but can be picked up later. And I will have him on this team just like last year, but not on the initial 53. So Ward, Mosley, Womack, Demo, Ambry, and Q Knight. Holy cow. The difference with Jason Verrett on the back burner coming in October. Incredible. If you are having issues with this front office, all you got to do is look at the corner position. That's it. Last year, this year, complete remodel, complete remake. Absolutely incredible job what they've done at the corner spot. Incredible. All right, let's get into safeties, our last position. Last year, they kept 4. This year, I got them keeping 4. I could see 5 there. But there's a lot of guys on that back end that I think that they really, really want. So locks, Jimmy Ward, he's going to miss the first 4 games. He's going on IR right after he makes the roster. If you put him on IR before, he's done for the year, so they're not going to do that. Talanoa Hufanga, lock. George Odom, special teams player, and safety backup, lock. Not the biggest fan of his safety play, to be honest with you, but 49ers don't care about safety near as much as a lot of other positions. Odom's not a bad player. I just don't think he's a great player. He's a backup. That's what he is. Now, you got a lot of guys. You just brought in Tayshaun Gibson, and he's got the most experience in the room by a long shot, 32 years old. You got Tarvarius Moore, who's been with the team the longest. Taylor Hawkins. Oh, I love Taylor Hawkins. He's incredible, undrafted free agent. So you've got a lot of guys. Locks are Ward, Hufanga, and Odom. We know Tayshaun Gibson can play. He played pretty good. He's just there for 3 days. He's got the Shanahan loyalty. Another guy that could be cut early, but Shanahan bring back if he keeps Jimmy Garoppolo. That's a possibility. That is a possibility. I've got him cutting Tarvarius Moore. I've got him keeping Tayshaun Gibson. I think that's the best play there. Moore just continues just to leave too much out there. Just too much out there. Yeah, he got the interception, but that was much more Samuel Womack than Moore. And Moore's got the speed over all of them. I get that. But, if I was making the decision, I think you need vet presence now with Jimmy Ward out. Otherwise, I'd keep Taylor Hawkins over Moore as well. But you need the vet guy. So I've got him cutting Tarvarius Moore and Taylor Hawkins, which breaks my heart. Taylor Hawkins, bring him back on the practice squad if you can. He's been so good. And Tarvarius Moore on the practice squad if you can. Because, again, you need that vet guy now with Jimmy Ward out the first 4 weeks. And it's Chicago's former team. So you keep Gibson out there for week 1 for sure. Maybe you make a change later. So that's my 26 defenders. And then 3 special teams, Robbie Gould, Mitch Wisnowski, Tabor Pepper. That makes our 53, baby. And so our practice squad, let's go back through it just so you could hear it top to bottom. 16 practice squad members, 6 vets. Brock Purdy. We got Jordan Mason. Now, I know a lot of these guys are going to get claimed. Malik Turner, Willie Snead, Tyler Croft, Nick Sikel, Jalen Moore, Donovan West, Kevin Atkins, Alex Barrett, McCrary Ball, Curtis Robinson, Dante Johnson, Tariq Castro Fields, Hawkins, and Tarvarius Moore. That's my 16. So your 53 plus your 16. I'm already mad at it. I don't like it. The Mason one, that's the worst one. So let me ask you this. For those of you that have been with us the entire episode, throw this in there now. If you were going to keep Mason, who are you throwing out of the people that we kept? Now, the running backs, again, we got in Jeff Wilson, Hasty, TDP, Juice Tech, and Elijah Mitchell. But it could be another position. You can keep 6 running backs and drop something else if you want to. Throw that up in the chat. I'm curious to see what's out there. Trade Sermon to Chicago. I like this. Reunite with Fields. I'd be totally cool with that. But they do have some strong running backs. And so I think that's kind of there. We'll see there. 49ers versus Chargers game Sunday Night Football. Who's going? I'll be there. Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch. That is a home game, Marcus. I'm not going to be able to be there, but a lot of other people will. Now, if you are traveling at all this year, you guys know what you got to do. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We've got just nothing but freaking events. Every single road game, at least 2 events for everyone. Head to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We got you covered from tailgating to freaking parties with players, all that stuff. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. That is there. Come join us. It's going to be awesome. I like this. Look at this, Martinez. Mason and trade linebacker DFF. Now, if you trade DFF, you got to pull up another linebacker too, probably, right? Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I think DFF is probably a very logical answer as a trade person. I love that. So anyway, appreciate you, Shot Jay. Thank you so much. He says, like, subscribe, Patreon. Don't be late like me. Get on this early. Enhance your season. I love it. You guys are also, here we go. Another one. Cut Gibson, put Ward on IR, sign Mason to the 53, then bring back Gibson. I like that. I'm cool with that. There's going to be some finessing because we saw that last year. You remember? They cut Jake Brindle, kept Maurice Hurst, put him on IR, then brought back Jake Brindle. The old switcheroo. You got to get some of those things there. Yeah, I like this. Keep Mason, drop Dwelly. 1 exhibition game does not replace 3 years of disappointment. I don't know. Last year was a bad year for Dwelly, but first 2 years I thought were really good. But I like it. I like the creativity there. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. We've got all our Patreon breakdowns coming. As soon as that film comes out, usually takes about a day and a half to get out. So we'll see there. But whenever it comes up, we will get you. And remember, man, come party with us, baby. We got our Jerry Rice tier Zoom hangout meeting Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Sunday. And until next time, appreciate you guys. Stay strong, faithful.